Okay, so this is the well child exam for a 5 and 6 year old child. And typically when we have the exam, you'll walk into a room. The child will typically be sitting on mom or dad's lap. It's good to have the parent in the room to help facilitate with the encounter. And this also helps with gathering information about the child's well-being. Well child checks typically are done, at years 5 and years 6, and with that come typically the beginning of school and immunizations. This is where you'll go through and check to see what immunizations the child needs to be caught up on. Typically, most of them are done by this time. If they're starting kindergarten, there's a few that I'll cover in the slides ahead that are needed. But then also, if for any reason they missed any well child checks in previous years, this is the time to get caught up on the immunizations. All right, so today I have Tracy and Ella with us, and we're going to be going through a well child exam.
All right.
How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Ella, how old are you?
5.
5. Are you in school, Ella?
Mm-hmm.
What grade are you
First grade.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
in? Kindergarten. Now, are you at the school building, or are you doing it from home?
I'm doing it from home.
From home, okay. How is that? Do you like it? Yeah.
And one time we made a cat out of a sea.
You made a cat out of a sea?
Mm-hmm. We
Wow.
do that for schoolwork, huh?
Sounds like fun arts and crafts, huh?
Yes.
Good. Alrighty. Okay. So in the interaction, we're going to be checking for observation with the parent and child. How do the parent and child interact? And then how do they interact with the healthcare provider? As well as, does the parent have realistic expectations with the child and their current stage of development? Next, we'll go through surveillance and development. Basically, a lot of fine motor skills. This will not only test the development and growth for Ella, but will also check musculoskeletal in that assessment. Physical exam will include measuring blood pressure at this age. We'll also be measuring the height and weight and calculating BMI. At this point in time, we're no longer checking head circumference because those are typically done. We're finished by age of 3. This is where we'll see just a steady, slow growth in height and weight. Based on that, you can also determine nutritional status. If the child is able to do an ophthalmoscope exam or ophthalmoscopic exam, we can check the eyes and check the retinal vessels. And then we can also do an oral exam checking for cavities, gingival inflammation, any kind of malocclusion. And then finally we can assess for gross motor skills, like I said, leading back to the development. And then in the dialogue and talking with the child and everything, we can assess language and speech fluency, thought, concept, and ability to understand abstract thinking. Like I had mentioned before, immunizations will be caught up. And then with screenings for 5 and 6, we can do universal screening. We're checking for vision and hearing, so asking mom if there's been any concern with hearing, if she's not really listening or paying attention. It might not necessarily be a behavioral thing, but just actually not hearing mom say her name or call out to her. And then also with vision, if there's any concern with vision, if she's having to look closely up at screens or books or papers or whatever, and it looks like she's not, if she's needing to have things close up to see, that might be a reason to go visit the eye doctor. Okay, so first off, using the Bright Futures book here, we can cover the anticipatory guidance. There are 5 sections that we like to cover with school readiness, mental health, nutrition and physical activity, oral health, and safety. So school readiness, it sounds like Ella, you're in kindergarten, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see here. Some of the questions we like to ask is to prepare the child. Is the child prepared for school? Mom, what concerns do you have about your child's ability to do well in school? What do you think?
Well, right now, I mean, just starting off, so I don't really think we have too many concerns right now. I think we're doing pretty well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. And then, let's see, she's not involved in any after-school activities right now. She's not doing any sports or anything like that. That's something that we can talk about later on if that does happen, making sure that after-school care is a safe and positive environment for her.
Absolutely.
And then we can talk to her about her school experiences. Right now, she's doing it from home. But if when she goes back to school with all of her other peers, we like to talk about what her interactions are with her peers, positive, negative.
Right.
Especially if there's any kind of bullying going on, we want to make sure
Sure.
that we talk about that in
Sure.
lesson.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Going on, moving to mental health, we like to talk about family routines and then beginning of assigning household chores. Ella, do you have any chores that you do around the house?
Well, I normally play outside.
You play outside? Do you clean up when you outside? You pick up your toys?
I do pick up my car, and Isaac picked up his stuff, and I pick up my stuff.
Good. Great. That's good that you're being helpful with mom and dad. Yeah.
She does. She helps clean, pick up. Sometimes we don't, but we usually do. And you like to help cook.
And my dad and me cooked. We cooked little cakes, a mermaid tail in it, starfish, and we made a big fish cake.
Cool. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was giant.
Did it taste really good? Yeah. Awesome. All right. And we'd also like to talk about like showing affection and respect for adults as well as their siblings, and then modeling anger management and self-discipline. Kind of going through that is like when the child is disruptive or not paying attention or disobeying, or we want to match the consequences of the actions. And I've heard typically with like time out, you typically want to time it with like however minutes in time out they are for how old they are.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We do 5 minutes, when mommy
Yeah.
sets the timer when you have a timeout
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
And then when it's school time and when we're done with a little bit of our homework, we get a little time of break.
Yeah. Good. That's good.
Yeah, we get breaks in between school stuff too.
You need some break from the screens, huh? Yeah, that's good. Good. And then lastly, so the one using discipline for teaching, not punishing, good to
Right.
explain what was done wrong and why it was wrong, and then what can be done instead. And then lastly, solving conflict or anger by talking it out, going outside, playing, or walking away, instead of using physical violence or
Absolutely.
all that kind
Right.
of stuff.
Right.
Nutritional stuff, we like to talk with physical activity, nutrition and physical activity. So first, eating breakfast is a good start the day off right, so you have some food in your belly so you can focus on school.
Right, absolutely.
And in this age range, we see like anywhere, like starting from this age and then moving forward, they're not eating as many small frequent meals. They can have a little bit bigger meals and that kind of holds them over
Sure.
a little bit longer, especially being in school when they have
Right.
breakfast and they might have a snack, and out to lunch they can go a couple hours, and so
Sure.
that is typical. We'll see that as the child progresses, that they'll need less and less smaller snacks. Like I said, just they can have some of the bigger meals. Limiting candy, soda, sugary drinks. So not a lot of juice, but you can have milk. Milk's pretty good.
You like milk, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Today I drank milk.
Yeah.
And milk's okay.
Do you eat lots of fruits and vegetables? Can you name me 2 fruits?
What are some fruits that you like?
I like oranges.
Oranges? What's another fruit that you like?
What do we talk about today at school? Do you remember? What else do you like to eat? What about apples? Do you like apples?
Apples?
Mm-hmm.
Those are really good too.
She likes apples too.
Apples are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And then moving forward with physical activity, talking about 60 minutes of activity outside.
Sure.
It can be broken up 20 minutes in the morning, afternoon, night, or however that looks. Just making sure they're outside playing around.
Oh yeah, we do lots of outside time, huh?
And I know we're in unprecedented times with screen time now being a part of their education, but outside of that, limiting TV to this is about 2 hours a day, probably a little less than that if they can stay active and read or just play around.
Right.
Oral health, we like to talk about brushing teeth, going to the dentist twice a year.
We do that, huh?
Good. Yeah, that's great. Brushing your teeth twice a day, using some floss, kind of get in the habit of keeping a good cleaning done.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, we like to touch on a lot of safety things. So there are a lot of little accidents that can happen. You know, there's a lot of things out there, and so we want to make sure that you're safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first one is talking about the street. You got a street outside. You got cars going by. You don't want to go on the street. You got to make sure mom or dad is with you.
Yeah, we always go on the road to ride our bike, and mommy and daddy always watch it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're right there with you.
And when you get to the street, you know, you look both ways. You look one way to make sure there's no cars, and you look the other way to make sure there are no cars. Make sure it's safe.
And one time, mommy and daddy weren't watching us, and daddy said, look both ways, and we looked both ways, and it was safe to go.
Good. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Good. And then we like to talk about a properly positioned belt, like a booster seat. She's old enough to be in a booster seat, not like a little carriage, but make sure the seat is right. The seat belt is at the right position for her in the back seat. Making sure when she is riding her bike, do you use a helmet when you ride your bike? Sometimes, yeah, it's good to wear a helmet.
We always wear a helmet, huh?
Yeah.
That's the rules.
Yeah, because you don't want to hit your head.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt.
Right.
Have you skinned your elbow before?
No.
And your knee?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you fell off your bike before and skinned your arms. And
You don't want to skin your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I did fall off my bike, and I did fall on my head, but I wear a helmet.
Good.
And I didn't feel anything.
Good. All right. And now we are coming to the end of summer, but talking about swimming and swimming safety. Make sure that they're wearing life jackets when they're around any bodies of water.
Right.
And then if you do have a pool, you just want to make sure that where the kids are at all times, locking the back door, make sure that they, if they do go outside, that they do wear a life jacket, and then taking them to like swim lessons.
Right.
Is a good place to kind of start teaching them how to swim, and
Right.
so that it's even more safe.
Sure.
Out in bodies of water. Let's see. This one is more for when they're interacting with other adults. This talks about teaching rules on how to stay safe with adults. So no adult should tell a child to keep secrets from parents. And expressing any kind of like private area stuff or anything like that. You want to make sure you're talking with them if adult says something to tell you. Because we want to make sure there's any kind of concern for any kind of abuse or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So then coaching the child, like, what would you do if a grown-up said this or said that to you? Then in the home, make sure there's smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, a fire escape plan, kind of talking through some of those things. So if it does happen, that it has at least been mentioned, we're going to do this. If this happens, they'll come get you, or you go outside your window, or whatever. It's just as a fire safety plan in place, because those can happen too, and want to make sure everyone is on the same page. And lastly, if there's any guns in the home, making sure that they're safely locked away, and if the ammunition is separated from the gun itself.
Right.
So saying all that to say, we cover a lot.
We do. We went over a lot.
I know that was pretty boring for you, but we got.
You did great.
And mommy bought me a new car seat that can break into a booster seat.
That's really cool.
And it can break into a car seat.
Cool. All right, Ella, I'm going to need your help for this part. Okay. So I want you to sit up here on the table.
Okay.
All right.
Sit down on your bottom. Good job.
All right, so have your feet right here, your legs are on this side. Okay, so the little child exam, you do the physical exam just like you would with an adult. So this is my stethoscope. You know what this does? What does it do?
You put it in your ears, and the big part listens to your heart. And these things right here, you put in your ears, and you can listen to your heart.
Yes, good job. So first, I'm gonna do a couple little things. I want you to follow my fingers. Don't move your head though. Go up. Good. Oh, good. Great. Cool. Good job. All right, I'm gonna feel around here. See if you got any little lumps or bumps. I don't feel anything. You ticklish? No. Okay. Let's take a quick listen here. Say this a little bit. Good. Good. Alright, I'm going to move your hair a little bit because otherwise it sounds fun when I try to listen to your lungs. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Good. One more. Awesome. Alright, I'm going to listen to your heart now, okay? You know what your heart sounds like? It goes lump-dump, lump-dump, lump-dump. Alrighty. So then, can you open your mouth? Stick out your tongue. Good. Okay, dear. Now, I'm going to have you lay down for just a little bit. I'm just going to take a quick little listen on your belly. Did you eat a puppy? I hear a puppy in here.
No, I don't need a puppy.
No puppy? Okay. Does it hurt anywhere when I touch you?
No.
Okay, let's sit up here. Okay, so I'm gonna have you do a couple things for me. These are the fun parts. Okay, so I'm gonna have you stand right here. Can you balance on one foot? Can you just have on one foot? You can hop too. Do it again. Do it on the other foot. On the other foot now. Sweet. Okay, do you know how to skip? Okay, go ahead and do it.
Show us how you skip.
How do you skip?
Mom will move the chair so you skip.
Can you skip? Oh, good.
Good job.
Awesome. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna have you. Can you tell me name 6 body parts? So what is this?
Eye.
Eyes. What's this?
Nose.
Cool. What's this?
Chin.
Good. What's this?
Elbow.
Elbow.
Knee.
And what's this?
Foot.
Good job.
You did
You're
it.
so good. Look at you. Now, do you know how to count to 10? Go ahead, do it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good job.
Good job.
You're so good. You're so smart too. Look at you. Alrighty, Ella, do you have any questions for me?
Mm-hmm.
What can I help answer?
I really like apples, and when you cut them open, there's seeds.
There are seeds inside.
There are seeds inside. Uh-huh. You probably don't want to eat the seeds though. Otherwise a tree might grow in your belly.
Oh, that would be silly. An apple tree in there.
Alrighty. So that wraps up the Well Child exam, and then we'll move forward with the rest of the PowerPoint. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.